Welcome to another episode of Two Old Geeks Talking. Now on the World Wide Web.
Hey, welcome back to Two Old Geeks. I'm Rob.
I'm Trace.
And today we're talking about
The Predator.
There you go.
So we're going to talk about all the Predator movies. We're going to talk about some of the comics, some of the video games, and some of the merchandise that's come out over the years. Give our opinions on that. So, very first Predator movie come out in 1987. Did you see it at the theater?
No, I don't think so. No.
Well, I was going to electronics school, and there was a guy named Bob Ketron. He was real big into bodybuilding. He would always bring these magazines, muscle and fitness magazines.
Yeah.
And I was already a Schwarzenegger fan from his other films. And so he was on the cover of a muscle fitness magazine. It was like a preview of The Predator. And he brought it, and he'd done read it, and he gave it to me. So I was all excited about it. So me and him and a bunch of other guys went to the movie theater and saw it. And I was just blown away. It's still today one of my favorite Schwarzenegger films.
Cool.
And so, the premise of it, and everybody knows the premise, but you have an alien that crashes, and pretty much all your Predator movies are this. You got a group of alpha males, and there's one alpha male that's over the rest of the alpha males. And so they go against the Predator, and the Predator takes out the other alpha males one by one, and then usually you're down to your last one, and then he fights. So
I like the premise that there was two guys trying to determine who was the alpha male.
Yeah, and I also like the fact that I like it when they blend genres. So it starts out as an action movie.
Right.
And so you're excited, and it's a good action movie.
Yeah, you got mercenary, military.
Yeah. And so then it switches over to a sci-fi / horror. Sahara. So you got action.
Sahara?
Sci-fi horror. Sorry, I've had too much meat. So you got action, you got sci-fi, and you got horror, or you say horror.
Whatever.
Tomato.
Horror.
But anyway, I really like that. It reminded me of Dust to Dawn, the way it was started out as like a crime drama, and then it turned into a vampire movie.
Right.
And even like Blade Runner was a mixture of 1940s detective and sci-fi, and Star Wars was a mixture of fantasy novels and sci-fi.
But it was a good setup. It wasn't.
Yes.
It wasn't just a military group out in the middle. There was a reason behind it and everything else.
And so it was a real good action rated R movie. And this year I was in Knoxville, Tennessee, and I was coming through a hotel lobby, and sitting in the lobby was Jesse the Body Ventura.
Yeah.
And so I just go up to him and start talking to him, and we talked for like an hour. And of course, what do I ask him about?
Predator.
The Predator, yeah. Because, I mean, this is my opportunity.
Right.
So he's a super interesting guy. You know, I mean, he's been a Navy SEAL. He's been a wrestler. He's been an action star. He's been a governor. So I was asking him about it, and he said that, you know, they had to push in. He said, first of all, he got the role because they wanted a big tough guy that chewed tobacco. And so he's like, I'm a big tough guy. I chew tobacco. I can do that. So he put in for it, and he got it. So he said that they pushed these big roads through the Mexican jungle, which they probably shouldn't have done it, with bulldozers, just shoved it all the way in until they got to the location they wanted to shoot. And they would have to drag in all the equipment just for the wet weather. And so he said that nobody else there had really gone on patrol and knew military tactics the way he did.
Okay.
So he kind of took on the role of not only an actor, but also he took on the role as kind of an advisor.
Right.
So he would show them how to stand and how far apart and how to move through the jungle and how to use hand signs instead of speaking because your voice carries so far.
Right.
So he's using a lot of his Navy SEAL training to do that. But he said he went a little bit too far. There was one scene where there's like 4 guys together talking, and you know, Jesse's like, whoa, hold up. You know, stop filming. He said, you know, this isn't going to work because we would never on patrol have this many guys in one area because one grenade could take us all out. And the director was like, well, we're not making a documentary, Jesse. We're making an action movie, so you need to kind of calm down a little bit. So I asked him about one of my favorite scenes in the original Predator, and that was where he shoots a grenade up into a mountain, and it blows up, and all this debris falls down, and the guy beside him says, "Hey, man, you're bleeding." He's like, "I don't have time to bleed."
Right.
So I asked him about that, and he said, yeah, he read that in the script, and he was all excited about that because the other guy that was with him was the only other guy that had served in the military in that scene. But he said for time frame, they were not going to film it. There wasn't even going to be in the movie. And he said he was kind of depressed about it because he was looking forward to that. Well, one morning, they pulled all the equipment in, and Arnold Schwarzenegger, he couldn't make it. So he was feeling ill. So they said, look, we're here. We're ready to shoot. Arnold can't make it. So get dressed and get your butt out to the jungle because we're going to film that scene.
Okay.
So they filmed it and ended up putting it in the movie. And but yeah, I
Do you
really
ever think somebody his age gets tired of regurgitating the same story?
I wouldn't think so. I mean, he was by the time he was done talking, he had a crowd around him, and I think that he was really enjoying that. And some people are natural storytellers.
Okay.
And certainly he was, and he's had a very interesting life.
Right.
So he had a lot of stories to tell. So yeah, the first Predator, I give a 9 out of 10. What do you give it?
I mean, at the time when I first watched it, yeah, I would have gave it a 9 out of 10. Now, probably still a low 9, but it's still 9.
Yeah, a lot of people don't know that originally the Predator suit looked totally different. It looked like a big insect.
Right.
And a young actor by the name of Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, a no name.
Yeah, no name. Yeah. He was actually inside the Predator suit. Well,
a very talented no name.
Yeah, so they actually shot some scenes with him. When you see him coming toward Carl Weathers, where Carl gets his arm cut off, when you see that Predator running and he's camouflaged, that's actually Jean-Claude Van Damme. They kept it in, and it didn't matter. The suit didn't match up because it was all camouflage.
Right.
But
wasn't Carl Weathers ripped in that movie too?
Yeah.
I mean, everybody in that movie except for one actor was just like.
Oh, they would be in the jungle filming all day, Jesse said, and then they'd go in all night and just lift weights all night long.
Except for the one guy with the glasses. Wasn't he like the actual director?
Shane Black.
Like that?
No, he wasn't a director yet. He directed one in the future. We're going to get to that. But he was just an actor. But he went on to be a good director.
Okay.
So
I hated his jokes. Those were some of the stupidest jokes.
Yeah.
I'd rather hear a bad dad joke than a bad dirty joke.
So a few years later, since Predator did so good, what do you got to do?
Oh, you got to make more.
You got to make more.
You got to make that money.
So they made Predator 2, and they picked Danny Glover. Now, Danny Glover was popular because of the Lethal Weapon movies. And Shane Black, who was in the first one, who's telling the terrible jokes you didn't like, he actually went on to direct Lethal Weapon and several of the sequels. So he made a name for himself as a director. And so, but he wasn't involved in Predator 2 at all. They got Danny Glover, and they set it in the future. So the first one's in the jungle, the second one's in the future in the city.
Now, how far in the future is it? Or I thought it was the present.
No, they put it in it was supposed to be at the time it was the 2000s, and Predator 2 come out in 1990.
Okay, because they were making L.A. look like a freaking
war zone.
Drug wars and stuff. I was like, if that's what L.A. really looks like, I
ain't
never freaking going to California.
It was supposed to be a future L.A. LA.
Shit.
But what they tried to do is they tried to combine like a cop drama.
Yeah.
And then throw it in. I enjoyed it. I didn't enjoy it as much as I did the first one. I didn't think. I guess after seeing Arnold as the main guy in the first one, Danny Glover was a step down. I would actually preferred they went with somebody else. But it still wasn't bad. And Danny was carrying a gun. It's like a big hand cannon. So it was kind of like cop versus alien type thing. So it still wasn't that bad. But it just really wasn't my cup of tea.
I liked it because of the progression of the Predator's weapons. Like he had that little spearhead that got stuck in the wall he pulled out. They was looking at the metallics of that and the net. That was the first time we seen the net that wraps around somebody and kind of cuts into them as it tightens up.
Yeah, so I give Predator 2 a 7 out of 10. What do you give it, brother?
Nah, I probably don't even. I'd probably give it a 6.
A 6 out of 10?
I was not impressed.
Now, there's one scene there that just blew all the fanboys' imaginations apart. And that was a scene where Danny Glover's walking through the ship.
The ship, yeah.
And in the back, you have all these trophies. And one of them was a xenomorph. That's the alien from the Alien franchise. Right. So people saw that, and they're like, oh my gosh, that's amazing. A Predator versus an alien. Wonder who would win. And so all the fanboys got to talking.
Well, since the skulls on the wall, wouldn't that kind of answer the question?
Yeah, that's who won then. Yeah, yeah. So a comic book Dark Horse had the rights to both Aliens and Predator. So they answered the fanboy question. What they did was they come out with a series of Alien versus Predator comics.
Okay.
And so they were so popular that somebody decided, hey, let's make some Alien versus Predator movies. And so the first one come out, and a lot of people hate those things.
Now, when did they come out?
They come out directly after
the second one.
After the second one.
See, now I didn't see those.
It was 20 years before there was another standalone Predator movie after Predator 2 and Predators. So they had Alien versus Predator. Some people call it AVP, and then they had Alien versus Predator Requiem, the second one. The first one, I thought was all right. Because basically you just I knew it was going to be a good movie when it started out, and you had a guy watching a black and white TV, and he's watching Wolfman versus Frankenstein. As soon as I saw him watching that black and white Wolfman versus Frankenstein, I knew the movie was going to be good because I knew what they were going after and that they understood what they were going after.
Oh, okay.
They're just putting two classic monsters, like those Universal monsters, Wolfman and Frankenstein, or Godzilla versus King Kong.
Oh, right.
You know, they're just putting those together. So they just decided to put Predator and Aliens together. And they did it in a real fun, entertaining way. And I probably give that one. Do you even remember it? Have you even seen it?
No, I haven't seen either one. I hadn't seen either one.
So I give the first Alien versus Predator, I give it a 7. I put it right up there with Predator 2. So since it did well at the box office, what do?
Make another.
So they thought, well, at least half the people, or maybe 75% of the people that saw Alien versus Predator will go see Aliens versus Predator Requiem. That movie was horrible.
Second movie's always horrible.
Well, they had so dimly lit that, and they do it because when you see a movie real dimly lit, it's because the sets aren't good, or the costumes aren't good, or the special effects aren't good, and so, I mean, you would think you were losing your eyesight once you saw Alien versus Predator Requiem because it was just so dark. And I mean, I give that movie a 2 out of 10.
The first actor that played in the Predator suit,
Kevin,
also was in the second one.
Kevin Michael Hall, I want to say. Maybe that's not right. Peter something Hall.
So was he in these as well?
He was in the first
one. Because I know
one.
there came a point that he stopped.
Yeah, there was the first one and the second one, and then they had somebody else in the Predator suit. He was in Predator 1 and 2. And so then 20 years later, first of all, you kind of thought that maybe the Predator franchise was done after AVP Requiem because it was so bad, made hardly any money, and all the critics hated it. So you're thinking it's done, but 20 years after Predator 2, they come out with Predators, with a plural, okay? And I'm just going to say, whoever's naming these movies, it's horrible. First one's called Predator, second one's called Predator 2, third one's called Predators, fourth one's called The Predator, and the fifth one's called Prey. That's horrible. There's no consistency there at all.
It should be like they do Lord of the Rings and then another title.
Fellowship of the Ring. Yeah.
Or like Star Wars, another title.
Yeah. That would have been the best thing. So anyway, Predators come out, and Robert Rodriguez, who he's kind of hit and miss as a director, he was involved with a little bit, but they got some guy named Nimrod something or another to do it. But I actually liked it. I mean, they went back to the jungle.
Good job, Nimrod.
Yeah, good job. So they went back to the jungle on Predators. Okay, so you got all these different alpha male type characters, an alpha female type character, and it was set on on a
alien
planet.
Right.
And so you introduced those hunting dogs, those alien hunting dogs. So that was introduced. You had Lawrence Fishburne in it as the guy that was a survivalist, and he'd been there for a while. And actually,
I liked his character.
Yeah, it was good. So I mean, the movie was good. You had a Japanese guy there, and so you had like I'm big into samurai movies.
A predator's hunting reserve.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I mean, I like that aspect of it. So and I like Lawrence Fishburne's character, and there was a guy on there, Topher Grace, who's from the '70s show, which I never had watched the '70s shows from then. And I thought he did a good job as a serial killer.
Yeah, I basically knew him. He played in the very first Venom. And so that's what I knew him from. I didn't know him from the '70s show.
You had Danny Trejo from, he's pretty much in every...
Danny Trejo?
every...
Machete.
Yeah, he was in Desperado and a lot of those movies. Yeah. But anything Robert Rodriguez is in, he makes sure he throws Danny in there too. And so that was kind of cool. Now the main guy, Adrian Brody, that was a problem I had. Adrian Brody didn't strike me. Schwarzenegger's alpha male.
Right.
Even Danny Glover, he's a man's man. But Adrian Brody looks like, even though he's an Oscar winner, he looked like he'd be better suited as an accountant than he would a tough guy. And he was trying to be tough. He was trying to talk. He got real ripped up. He put on some muscle and stuff. But the thing is, I mean, what'd you think about him?
I didn't have no problem with him, but I don't know Adrian Brody. So I was just taking him as he was. And I didn't see him as trying to be a tough guy. I seen him as he was outside of civilization. Like he was like a loner, and he had done some nasty bad things.
Yeah, military.
And that
contract.
He didn't want to be known. He kind of wanted to blend in. So he wouldn't have been like a standout character.
Yeah.
Because he was kind of like your rogue. That's the way I looked at him. If you use D&D terms.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I didn't mind him not being like your typical macho man.
I still enjoyed the movie. You had a classic Predator from the original movie.
Right.
As
a prisoner himself.
Yeah. And then you had some...
Which showed a whole new dynamic.
Yeah, and you had some new type Predators where they looked a little bit different and they were from a different clan.
Right.
So you got... It kind of took the world and fleshed it out a little bit.
Yeah.
So I enjoyed it. And I give it an 8 out of 10. Is that what you give it?
Yep.
So then they come out with The Predator, and that come out in 2018. And The Predator was horrible. I went and saw it.
I disagree. Is that the one where you had all the prisoners?
Yeah, that's the one where they had.
Yeah, I liked it.
Oh no, man! I went to see it with my stepson. My stepson liked it too, but he's been known to make bad decisions. Everybody does. But I mean, the thing is that me and Cody went and seen it, and I mean, first of all, they tried to say autism. They got the autistic boy who. He gets some tech and he draws a predator into Earth, and they try to make it seem like autism is the next evolution in mankind. They try to make it seem like autism is a superpower when it's definitely not. That was bad.
No. That's the way you look at it, as if it's a superpower. So in this movie, by showing the science part of it, it showed that predator that they had on the table actually had human DNA. Which actually kind of fleshed out all the other movies to say this race actually goes and finds the best DNA and nitpicks to better themselves. That's why there was different predators, and that's why they had progressed and changed in look. Even when you go on to prey, that's why he looks different than the predator we grew up with. So is that DNA perfect in your eyes? No. But he had an ability, just like any other autistic person, there's a skill and an ability that most humans didn't have. If a child can pick up a piece of tech that he's never seen and be able to operate it and understand it that quickly, why wouldn't you want that?
Yeah, I didn't like that whole concept. The whole concept that
that was the greatest concept out of all of them.
The predator's coming, and so I'm going to hunt and kill something. because I'm superior to it. But then after I kill it,
It's
I'm
not
going to try to
because-
take some of the DNA from
No,
it.
it's not because you're superior. It's because you're trying to make yourself superior.
Yeah.
Just like Nazis, just like, okay, imagine in the past people trying to describe Vikings. They come from an alternate world. They're coming and nitpicking who they take back and making their clan stronger. They're using their DNA basically to make them stronger. They're wanting to terraform the earth to make it into their planet. That's one thing they said. They're wanting to take over our planet. Well, it's basically a story that's old as time. They're just trying to better themselves by stealing from.
Well, that's your opinion, and I
Well,
respect.
that's the way I look
Yeah, I
at it.
respect it. So, but Shane Black, he was the actor that was in the first one back in '87. Went on to do the Lethal Weapon movies. He done this, and so I was all excited about it because, okay, you got an actor from the original movie, somebody that's gone on to do other great films. I was excited about him doing The Predator, and I couldn't stand that movie. It was so stupid. At the very end cutscene, and I'll ruin it for you because I can't ruin a bad movie, is that they got the Predator hunting suit. So they got a suit that's like the Predator killer suit.
Right. It's
Yeah.
a suit sent by the predator race themselves to take out predators. It's like one clan of the predators are saying, hey, this is what's going to protect you from further invasions from other clans from our race.
Yeah. Do you like black licorice?
No.
Okay. I was just checking.
What has that got to do with anything?
Because if you like the Predator, I figured you like black licorice. What about candy corn? You like candy corn?
What the hell?
So anyway, I thought the Predator series was dead after The Predator. I thought it was dead. I thought.
Actually, I wish they'd kind of gone.
What do you give it? What do you give it on a scale from 1 to 10?
I
got
probably
rated.
would have gave it an 8. I'm not a Predator fan, and
I would
like
give
that
it
movie.
I would give it a 1. I would watch Predator.
But
I would
see,
watch Alien vs Predator.
It wasn't-
Requiem before.
It just
I would watch
wasn't a
Alien.
smash movie. It was an actual movie that actually put thought, backstory.
There was some thoughts in it. So anyway, so I thought that was it. That was the end of the Predator
I kind of
movies.
wish they'd taken that mech suit and went further with that direction.
So they come out this year. Was this year? Yeah, it was last year. Last year they come out with a new movie called Prey. All right, and so I think the reason they call it Prey instead of Predator, Native Americans or something like that, is because they were trying to distance themselves. They wanted to make a Predator movie, but they wanted to distance themselves from the Predator franchise because that last The Predator didn't do good financially.
That's your
Even
opinion.
though it was an Oscar-winning movie, in your opinion, financially, we can all agree it didn't do well financially.
Or maybe somebody just finally said, "Look, we're not calling this Predator."
Yeah, maybe that was
Predator.
it. Yeah. So they
Past
called the movie
tense.
Prey, but it was a Predator movie, and it come on Hulu, so it wasn't released to the theaters. It come out straight to Hulu, and I thought the movie was fantastic. As a matter of fact, I put it at a 9, right up there with the original Predator. I
Right.
put it better, but I put it even.
Yeah, okay.
And I like the fact that they had set back in the past, and they had a Predator that was primal.
Yeah, well, I
And
mean,
his tech wasn't quite
yeah,
what it was.
No lasers. I mean,
Right.
you had lights,
Yeah.
laser lights, but you didn't have like shooting lasers. You had
Right.
like a hovering dart, like metal darts and
Yes.
stuff.
And I picked this up the other day and a 3D print and painted it up because I just love that movie. And so that's the Predator from the Prey movie. And I actually enjoy painting that. I'm not the best in the world, but I'm getting better. So anyway, but I like put gloss on everything that was metal and inside of his mouth and
Now,
give it a
see,
little wash.
this skull is from another movie. That's what I thought was funny, that what we are used to as far as his helmet,
Yeah.
this skull was actually, if I'm not mistaken, in the second movie on the wall.
Oh yeah, I didn't pick that up.
So this is kind of like something they used, they transformed into a mask.
But I did pick this up. She handed the chief a black powder musket. at the end.
Which was from the
Yes,
second
and
movie.
he turned it over and looked at it, and it was the same musket that Danny Glover's character got handed by a Predator at the end of Predator 2.
Which means they got it back.
They got it back somehow. Got it right.
They come back.
But yeah, the prey is what would happen if a Predator went back in ancient times and instead of fighting a bunch of commandos in the jungle
Went back. They didn't travel back in time.
No. It was just
It was
sent back in time.
Maybe their first. Maybe this was like
maybe was their first.
Maybe their first outing to Earth.
Yeah, so they fought some Native Americans, and it was a really good movie. And if you don't have Hulu, you can actually buy it on DVD and Blu-ray now.
Right.
And I had to get a bootleg copy because I didn't know they were going to do that. But anyway, so now it's opened up to, will they have more movies in the future called Predator? Or will they have more movies in the future and call them Prey? I would love to see, what about if they had like the primal Predator go back and fight like Vikings? Wouldn't that be cool?
Yeah.
Or like go back into ancient Japan and fight samurai? Oh, that'd be awesome, man.
Yeah, they should have. How long? This was just this past year, right? So there is an opportunity for them to do that. Yeah.
So I wonder. I'd heard they're going to make it. Now this is a rumor on the internet. You know how that goes. But I had heard they were going to make a new movie called Prey, and it was going to be set in World War II. He was going to fight Nazis, is what I heard.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's true. I don't think it's a good idea. They'd be stupid not to do Vikings.
If Vikings would be a badass, in my opinion. If I was going to do the next step, I would probably do something like Roman soldiers.
That would be
because
cool. I'd like that.
They were known for their military.
Or Spartans.
Yeah,
that'd
something
be
like
cool.
that.
Yeah.
That would be badass.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah.
Well, so have you ever owned any Predator toys?
No. I was sitting there going through my brain file, and I was like, I don't have anything that has to do with Predator.
NECA is probably known best as the one that produces Predator toys. And they've been doing it for years and years. Just series after series after series. And they've got good detail and good articulation, and I never have bought any. I like the Predator series. Now, I will admit, I'm at the age where I'm trying to get rid of stuff and not trying to get more stuff, but I am tempted to get the Prey action figure if it comes out. Of the primal Predator, but I'll probably resist it. Probably won't.
I think they already got one, don't they?
Yeah, they got one.
Comes with the
they got one coming out. Yeah. So I've been thinking about it. But so what about any of the video games? You play any Predator video games?
Never played none of the video games. Never read any of the comic books. Predator was not my. I enjoyed it, but it wasn't my like. I wouldn't like geeky over.
Yeah, what I always do, I wait till a video game comes out, and then I'll watch the reviews of it on YouTube. Before I spend my hard-earned money on that. So most Predator games kind of get panned. The latest one is Predator Hunting Ground, and you go online, and you're either a Predator or you're one of the commandos trying to protect yourself from the Predator. And so it's kind of like Call of Duty, only it's the Predator world and it's online. And I never have played it. That's not my cup of tea. I'm not a Call of Duty type guy.
I think it would be fun to play it as the Predator, kind of like how, like in Batman Arkham Knights, you have that night vision to where you can see everything. If they did like a Predator vision and you stalked, kind of like Assassin's Creed or something, you had to be stealthy without getting caught.
Yeah.
I think that would be a cool aspect of the game.
That'd be cool. One of the things they've done in Prey is, in the original Predator, that Predator vision that they have, has a certain look about it. And they changed that in other movies and made it more like
detailed.
Made it more detailed. And Prey, they actually went back to the original look of like infravision that they had, So that was cool. So anyway, I guess that's all I got to say about the Predator. You got anything you want to add?
No.
All right, I think we're done. You done? All right, I think he's done.
I'm done.